Hello and welcome to the Warcraft 3 audio commentary. Today we're going to be taking a look at Game 3 of the best of 5 between Yumiko, or HPE.Yumiko, spawning in as the blue human on the left side of the map. The map is Echo Isles, and he will be playing Inquisitive HawK, spawning in as the yellow human on the right side of the map. Now, this is played for TotS, and I do know what that is now. That's Tournament of the Sun. There's a link in the description below to the grid, but essentially it was kind of a one-shot thing. Maybe we'll see more of these tournaments. It would be great. It's kind of like Zotac. It's on Sunday. It's Russian, and there's a lot of good players who played, so maybe I'll see if I can't find some more of the replays, because honestly I would like to watch them, and if there's good ones I'd like to, cast them for you guys, so it'd be fun. I don't know if I will, but we'll try to. Now that was, like I said, I think that was a one-shot type thing. The prize pool was 5,000 rubles. That's about, I think, about 130 euros, about 170 USD. And it was split among pretty much the top 3 players. So the prize pool was split out. I think it was like 2,500 for place 1, and then like 1,500 and 500. I don't know if that's quite the case, but it was something like that. You can check it out if you're really curious. But anyway, so that's pretty much that. That's what it is, Tournament of the Sun. And we see HawK going with a Archmage and a Footman right there. And of course over here on the other side of the map we're seeing Yumiko with a Archmage and a Footman right there. So lots of diversity. Yeah, that's pretty much your standard opening, and that's pretty much how they're going to play most of their standard, the first couple of minutes of the game. So some people can say, it's super boring. Why is that interesting? What's interesting about that? Well, there is actually sometimes variation. We actually do see some variation. Of course, we're seeing HawK go down that early scout tower, and Yumiko of course getting that farm down, and so he has that faster farm. We might even see Yumiko, if I'm not mistaken, he'll go ahead and start building that with a second peon as well, that he might not. He did in one of the games. Looks like he's going to just say, screw it, and that's fine. Over here, of course, we're going to see the same pretty much happening for HawK. He's starting down his third burrow, or his third farm as well. And so HawK's going to be able to creep out his green camp down in here at the bottom. Of course, he's going to use a scout footman to come over here and try to maybe, say, what's going on over here? It's like, because I want to find out, what is Yumiko doing? Is saying, does Yumiko have a lot of towers up? Is Yumiko like going for an expansion right off the bat? What is he doing? Because all of these things are possible. And of course, we're going to see the same happening pretty much from Yumiko with his scout footman on on HawK's side of the map. And so there you go. And of course, I keep saying there you go all day today. There you go. But I'll try to stop. I'll try to stop saying because that's not very fun and entertaining either. But anyway, so we have HawK over here. He's going to go ahead and try to creep out this mercenary camp. Should be able to do so. We're going to see Yumiko actually going to steal this Forest Troll Shadow Priest. Going to be able to take down the water elemental right there. Another one has been summoned, however, and he's going to come over back here and try to take that one down as well. Should be able to do so, no problem. Of course, 75-minute cast is abolished magic, and that will take him down. So what a great buy from Yumiko. Of course, just using that footman to get the priest right there from that mercenary camp. And of course, we're going to see HawK now trying to say, okay, what will I do? He's like, well, I guess I'm going to just go ahead and try to chase down and kill their Forest Troll Berserker, seeing as that's a fairly annoying little guy that I don't really want to deal with. And of course, we can see what was left of that creep camp. So what a jack. It looks like only 2 of the creeps even died right there, and that would be this guy who casts slow, as well as the guy who casts purge and lightning shield. Meanwhile, we're gonna see another peasant going down, or I guess it's a militia, probably, maybe a peasant, I don't know. From Yumiko just saying, okay, I'm going to keep harassing you. Of course, HawK has begun his tech as well, and you can see that Yumiko also has his tech a little bit faster, however, and of course that's going to work out pretty well. Of course, this Forest Troll Shadow Priest somehow still alive. There isn't a tower up just yet for Yumiko, so we're just going to see that happening as HawK is still trying to kill that thing, and it looks like he might be able to get it right now. He's going to go ahead and try to cast heal on himself just 2 times in a row. Will that be enough to keep him alive? It should be enough to keep him survive. One more Archmage attack, but he's still being chased right now by a huge armada of footmen, and there's actually a water elemental out as well, trying to take down this arcane tower. So Yumiko just really being surprisingly effective at keeping this guy alive, as you can see, and unfortunately he's going to end up going down eventually, but that the water elemental will actually die too to those militia. And I think he got one final abolished magic off. I'm not sure if that's what it was, but that water elemental did die pretty quickly. Over here in the meantime, we're just going to see, it looks like HawK's base is sitting pretty fine. He's going to go ahead and throw down an arcane tower, bringing another militia right there. Of course, we can see Yumiko. Let's look at the experience counts. Actually, we're going to see Yumiko with the experience lead this game. And of course, HawK actually has a Ring of Regeneration on his Archmage, whereas Yumiko has Boots of Speed and a Circlet. So that's 2 really good items. And since he has that Boots of Speed, he might actually be able to kill this footman as well, solidifying his experience advantage pretty well, I would say, at that point. Of course, maybe he's going to try to hide. Oh, very clever, trying to hide. Unfortunately, Yumiko might be a little bit more clever, and he's going to be able to find that, and he's going to be able to take that down, no problem. At the same time, we're going to see that HawK is out over there trying to creep out that mercenary camp, and Yumiko knows it. So it looks like he's actually going to say, you know what, I don't really care if you live, I'm going to back off. And over here, that might have actually just been this micro because that Archmage did just kind of stop, so maybe he made a weird attack move, and that's possible, very possible. Of course, we're going to see HawK, he's going to be the one to pick up the Forest Troll Shadow Priest this time, as well as a Forest Troll Berserker, and of course, we saw Yumiko summoning a Water Elemental just immediately going to get dispelled from HawK's little Forest Troll Shadow Priest right there, and it went down. Of course, this fight looking pretty well for HawK then at this point, and HawK is just saying, okay, I'm at level 2, what else can I do? And he's going to be able to do, well, I don't know, he might go for an expansion creep, not an expansion, he won't actually go for an expansion, that would be silly. The is tier 2, so yeah, he should be throwing down his Arcane Sanctums right about now. The Altar of Kings, he's just having to power build that farm right there, so he can go ahead and get that Mountain King out. And we're just going to see Yumiko going ahead and trying to creep out this Goblin Merchant right there. And meanwhile, we're just going to see HawK going ahead and creeping out this gold camp right there. Over here at Yumiko's base, we can see he's throwing down an Arcane Sanctum, or an Arcane Sanctum as well as an Arcane Vault, and 2 Arcane Sanctums, and getting a Mountain King out as well. And it looks like Yumiko's Mountain King is a little bit faster than HawK's. And of course, we're just going to see this should be level 3 being picked up right there. Of course, once again, HawK was able, though, to take the overall greater, more experience than Yumiko was. However, not going to be, just really going to be shy. Only 4 experience shy of getting level 3 on this Archmage. And so, yeah, however, Yumiko was able to take one of the middle creeps on the map. And that's actually really a big deal. Of course, we're going to see HawK trying to take one of the middle creeps as well. Perhaps the one that gives a little bit better experience at the top. A little bit harder to creep, however. And what we're going to see. I mean, because HawK or Yumiko definitely wants to go ahead and try to take that. Of course, he's going to drop the Boots of Speed. Odd to do, but he's going to do it. And, you know, maybe, you know, pick it up on the Mountain King, because why not? And there you go. Of course, if Yumiko could get the experience here, he would gladly do so. He's going to go ahead and try to power creep this by using a bolt. Just saying, I want this item and I want the experience. And that'll give me level 3. Of course, here comes a Mountain King. Probably going to be forcing him to TP out, actually. Going to pick up a level 3 as well as a Potion of Greater Healing on that Archmage. Of course, that's a great item, because we do know that HawK likes the hero focus. And of course, we're going to see one of Yumiko's footmen dying as well as this TPing out. So that's going to work out pretty well for HawK. But, he, you know, so essentially what we just saw was Yumiko saying, I'm going to pay a TP, which is 350 gold, for a bit of experience as well as a Potion of Greater Healing. Will it be worth it or not? I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. Didn't look super well worth it, but I don't know. We can see a lumber mill now going up for Yumiko, which means he probably wants to go ahead and maybe go for, like, you know, an expansion at some point, you know, or he wants to do some kind of very offensive towering again, because we did see in game 2 a little bit of offensive, or was it, I don't know, it was game 1 or game 2, some offensive towering, so we might see that again from Yumiko. Actually, I think it was game 1, whatever. Yeah, so here comes this fight. We're going to see a bolt onto this priest right here. Of course, your priests are the main target if you can kill those guys. And we're actually going to see now it looks like HawK or Yumiko going for the offensive targeting, the hero targeting right there. Going for this Mountain King right here. It's going to be able to back off. It does have a protection, or a ring of protection +2, so that's 2 additional armor, bringing him up to a total of 5, as well as this ring of regeneration. So he's going to be able to heal up pretty quickly, because he's also got the heals being cast on him. And this is looking like a fight. We're going to see that Forest Troll Berserker going down for HawK. And of course, Yumiko saying, all right, well, I got my militia brought into here. Going to pick up level 2 on his Mountain King right there as he takes down a footman. And of course, you can see HawK at actually the hero level disadvantage once again in this game. However, HawK will pull out the creep camp right here, this Murloc creep camp, and say, let's try to creep that. And of course, we're just going to see, it looks like Yumiko is just going to let him have that, and he's going to back off. Now, this may not be the best decision. However, we're also going to see a expansion going up for HawK right now. And since we have this lumber mill going down for Yumiko, I'm actually kind of curious if that's what we're going to see Yumiko doing. Is he going to go for the expansion? It looks like he should, because he's got a bunch of militia on his way down there right now. So I think he can do that if he wants to. First, we're going to see level 2 being picked up by this Mountain King. Actually, Yumiko going to come in, just walk in there, waltz in, you know, he's like, this is my creep, and I'm going to take the Stone of Intelligence, not you. And that's what happened. And so we're going to see now Yumiko with that level 2 Mountain King. It's getting pretty close to level 3. But still, it's not quite there. Of course, you can see HawK with this Mountain King at level 2. Of course, he is, it's, you know, it's only barely into level 2, as whereas the HawK's Archmage sitting here almost to level 4. So if we kind of contrast that, you can see that Yumiko, he's kind of behind a little bit on experience. Of course, we're going to see Yumiko now trying to fill up his own expansion right now. I don't quite know if he knows about this, but he probably can make a pretty good educated guess. And it's actually going to be a little bit interesting for HawK right here, as he kind of backed off on creeping this, or finishing this off. He did run out of wood, it looks like, and so he just sent all those 4 guys to come down here and mine from this. And so they ended up having a long journey to walk from the time that it was actually ready to use. But it's not going to end up too bad, because he did went ahead and corrected that mistake a little bit. So those guys have been carrying a lot of gold for a long distance. But anyway, Yumiko, he does have Arcane Sentry Research, which means he can cast Reveal right there. And of course, we actually just saw that on the mini map. Ah, yes, right here. He just went. You might have just barely saw it. There it is. Just scouting out that this is here. Arcane Sentry on Arcane Towers essentially gives you a reveal that's on a cooldown, and it's quite nice. And of course, well, I was going to show you the point of view from his point of view, but I was a little bit too late on that. But whatever. So over here, of course, you're just going to see now Yumiko trying to creep out as well. You know, he's saying, I don't really need to worry too much about high level heroes, but you know, I would like to have at least 3-3. If I could get as close to level 5-5 as I could, that'd be awesome. If I could get to 6-6, that'd be amazing, but that probably won't happen. And one thing you might wonder sometimes is, why don't they get Paladin third in these sort of situations? And sometimes they do, but a lot of times they won't. The reason they don't, generally, is because there's all these spellbreakers that can sit there and just own your mana, and it's a bit of a pain. However, also, you know, if you know, also there's the issue of, you know, level 5 Archmage is really powerful, level 5 Mountain King is really powerful in these sort of situations, because it gives you a lot of that focus fire, a lot of the ability to draw these priests out, make them try to dispel your water elementals, and then you can stun them and kill them. And you know, killing the priest here, and a lot of these times you'll find that these battles, the breaker priest battles, come down to who can get the better end when it comes to killing the priest. So even though you might think, oh, the Paladin could help with keeping those alive, it's like maybe because if one player gets the Paladin, the other player doesn't get the Paladin, then the other player is going to have much higher level heroes on the Archmage and the Mountain King. So it's kind of a trade-off there, and a lot of times you'll just see the players are like, you know, I'm not going to worry about the Paladin, but sometimes you will see them picking it up. So we might see it this game, I don't know, but of course you have to get to castle to see that, so it doesn't look like we're going to, and that's another thing. A lot of times they don't end up going to castle. However, Yumiko is going to go to castle this game without a doubt, it looks like. And you can go to castle to get a couple of benefits, because I mean, obviously having the Paladin's a nice thing to have, but it's not complete. I was just saying, it's not completely without trade-offs. But again, you know, however you want to look at that, but of course, also if you go to castle tech, that also means you can get to 3 upgrades on your units. And of course, Yumiko seems to care a little bit more about upgrades maybe than HawK does. Of course, we're seeing no upgrades, it looks like, on either player. No, okay, there's 1-0 upgrade currently on Yumiko's units, no upgrades on HawK's. Gonna see HawK going ahead and casting a Stormbolt on that priest, gonna take him down at the start of this fight. Gonna have a counter Stormbolt onto the Mountain King right here for HawK, and take a little bit of damage, burn a little bit of mana, but ultimately not gonna do too much. As you can see, this is a Mountain King with 8 armor, and that's just kind of ridiculous. It also has 2 rings of regeneration, so it's regenerating 4 HP a second on top of its normal hero regeneration, which is just insane. Plus our priest, so this is one very tanky Mountain King. And he also has a scroll of healing just in case he gets into a bad spot. I mean, this is him healing without heals. As soon as you cast heals, it's just absolutely insane too. So there you have that. Of course, if we look, we can see, is there a blacksmith? There's a blacksmith going up right now for HawK. Meanwhile, of course, you know, Yumiko already has his blacksmith up, and he's just 1-1. He's actually gone up to 1-1. That's nice. And will we see any of these spellbreakers going down as HawK tries to run in here and snipe a reinforcement line army? Looks like they're not going to go down because they're both spellbreakers, and you have to really surround them, because you can't really bolt them and kill them, and so they're just going to be fine. Of course, spellbreakers are pretty tanky. They have 5 armor with 1 attack upgrade, or 1 armor upgrade, you know, compared to the 4 that they have, or the 3, I'm sorry, that they have otherwise. There you go. Of course, we're going to see a peasant going down. The shop's going to go down right here, maybe. If you lose this shop, you can't make any more spellbreakers, so you probably want to head, yeah, just want to have those guys queued up. At that point, throw down your Arcane Vault down here. It's very important. And Yumiko's just kind of waiting right now. He doesn't want to lose this blacksmith. He is sitting at 69 food versus 70 food, so it's a pretty even army kind of fight. However, of course, you can bring in militia as well, and he does have better upgrades. So there is that. We're going to see another priest going down right here too, which is a little bit unfortunate. However, pretty much at this point, Yumiko is just going to start spamming priests until you can get that Arcane Vault finish up there. Of course, we're going to see that HawK's Mountain King going to take a little bit of damage here. It's going to get a bolt on it. Will it go down? I don't know. Yumiko's really just not having a good time with taking the positioning here, so he's having a little bit of trouble. Of course, we see it looks like more spellbreakers on HawK's side than on Yumiko's spot side, so that's going to be interesting. Of course, there is an Ogre Mauler. The Ogre Mauler does a pretty good job of killing breakers, but you know, again, it's not as much of a threat as a spellbreaker. It's more of a let's pick this up because we need the supply kind of thing. And of course, we're going to see these militia doing some damage. We're actually going to see HawK's Archmage getting surrounded right there, and he's going to be forced to pop his Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Oh, he's going to go for the surround on Yumiko's Mountain King as well, instead of just going for the TP out immediately. And there it is. Since he didn't get it, he's going to have to TP out. Would have been a great move if he was able to surround that and kill it and then TP out. That would have been a phenomenal play for HawK. However, it didn't quite work out that well for him. Meanwhile, Are we gonna see any more priests coming out for Yumiko or something? Yeah, here comes some priests out right now. And he does have a arcane vault up right here. He's gonna throw down a second arcane vault. For whatever reason, he might decide to go ahead and say, I got a lot of resources right now. I could potentially buy 6 ivory towers, place them right here, or you know, right here or something like that, and then just buy those things and you know, try to do a bunch of damage. Of course, he doesn't really have a lot of inventory slots, so he'd have to sell items to do that. You know, because he has 4 open right now. But he could sell, you know, this. He could, and then you have 5. Or you could pass it over to the Mount King and use it there. You know, whatever. So I'm not really sure that's what he wants to do, but that's the only reason I can think he would buy 2 arcane vaults. Or he wants 2 staffs. That could also work. That could be another good reason. Of course, here comes that Paladin. 3rd hero out for Yumiko. And it's, I mean, the Paladin's one of those things, like, it could, like I said, generally I think it's a positive influence to have it, but it's not completely without, you know, like in some rare situations I would probably not get a Paladin 3rd, but yeah, so in this case it looks like he's going for it though. Of course, you can see 1-1 versus 1-0, whereas your blacksmith is not upgrading anything just yet. So it looks like that's going to be just 1-0 upgrades for HawK right now. And of course, once again, we're seeing him trying to move into this position where he can maybe try to pick off and snipe some reinforcements. Not going to quite happen this time around though. And of course, that Paladin now is about to come out as well. And down here we're going to see a workshop going up for Yumiko. With its castle tech, I believe is when he can research fragmentation shards, which is something that he would like to have. Of course, he's going to run that Paladin back into his face because he doesn't quite know where HawK's armor was, and he last saw it right here. So he doesn't want to get that Mount King sniped, or I'm sorry, the Paladin sniped by the Mount King. Over here we're going to see Yumiko is just going to go ahead and try to kill this altar teams because he needs a target. He needs something to force a fight. And here is going to be Yumiko moving up here into position. Of course, Yumiko does have some sort of an advantage, but not really, because we can see Yumiko sitting at 69 food and HawK at 80. So HawK's got the food supply advantage. He's up to 83 food at this point versus, you know, 72. So, you know, again, we're seeing HawK about 10 food higher in this fight, but he is a little bit less on the upgrades. As you can see, Spellbreaker's 1-1 versus 1-0. So here we go. Fight is pretty much going underway at this point. Pretty much, Yumiko just going to go ahead and use that Paladin, try to keep these Spellbreakers alive. That Paladin taking a load of damage right there. Going to get bolted. Will the Paladin actually go down? The Paladin's going to get a healing scroll, keeping him barely alive. He's going to get staffed out over here to this. And that's going to get dispelled by the priest, and so he's not going to be able to heal all the way up like he wanted to right there. So he's going to have to come back over here, and he can go ahead and start casting some heals now. Oh, he's going to get bolted. Will he go down to the Archmage? Yes, he will. Going to get killed by the Archmage from HawK. Really nice play right there from HawK by being able to pick that Paladin off, no problem. Of course, at level 1, that Paladin, very weak, very difficult to keep it alive. You have to keep it in the back. I don't know why he let it out in the front like that, but either way, this is a crazy fight going on. It's kind of encompassing multiple screens. Of course, we have the militia coming in from Yumiko as well, and Yumiko's just trying to use those guys to be as effective as possible. And this is just, again, it's just a crazy fight. Of course, we're going to see these guys, a couple of these units dying. You're going to see this priest almost certainly going to go down. Yeah, it's going to die. There's no way it's not. Indeed, down it goes. And Yumiko, actually, I don't know if he won this fight or not just yet, but it looks like it's a lot more even than I thought it would be. I kind of was expecting HawK to just easily win the fight, though with all these militia here, it's a little bit different. A little bit harder for HawK to actually hold his own right now. And will we see HawK being able to pull out the win, though? Again, I can't quite tell. Of course, will we see that the altar has gone down? He needs to remake his altar if he wants to get that Paladin back out. Of course, you can see that Yumiko is sitting at 72 food. And down here, of course, you can see that there isn't an altar up. And there is the fragmentation shard upgrade right there. And that's going to be really nice. It's going to allow him to make mortar teams that can absolutely obliterate the priests. So if this goes on just a little bit longer, it's going to be working out really well for Yumiko. So Yumiko just needs to hold on, you know, and just hold on as long as he can. And this Mount King from HawK is actually taking a lot of damage. He's very low on life, so maybe he's trying to bait a coil, or I'm sorry, a thunderbolt, a stormbolt. I'm sorry, a stormbolt from Yumiko's Mountain King. And actually going to see him going ahead and TPing out right now because he's like, I don't really want to risk losing anything. I'm not sure if that was a complete TP or if that was, oh, never mind. He didn't do that for that reason. He lost everything over here because there was a mercenary right there from Yumiko actually just rocking this economy, which is actually a really clever idea as usual. You can always see that from Yumiko. He's always going to play really clever. And of course, now we can see him maybe going ahead and saying it's time to build a altar again. And of course, you can see that's a staffed unit right there. And of course, here comes that altar. Here's these mortar teams that are coming out right now. So this is starting to look really, really, really good for Yumiko. If we look at the food supply, we can see Yumiko sitting at 78 food versus HawK's 72. Yeah, this is looking really good. Of course, we look at the text, you can see Yumiko sitting at 1-1, and HawK is sitting at 1-0. Of course, HawK is going to try to creep up a little bit more, because why not? Pick up some items if you can, get a little bit more experience, get a little bit closer to level 5 on that Mountain King. If you get level 5, that'd be pretty nice. Of course, we're going to see that Yumiko is also very close to level 5 on his Mountain King. He has level 5 on the Archmage. I think both Archmages are level 5. Indeed, they are. And there you have it. So this is just a short bit of time before that Paladin comes back out. Of course, if the Paladin comes back out, it's going to break high upkeep for Yumiko. So you might see him picking off a couple of his own peasants. He's got quite a few of those guys right now. He doesn't quite need all of them. So we'll see. There it is. He went ahead and he killed a couple of peasants right there, just to go ahead and get that back out. Of course, he's also going to research flare as well. So these mortar teams are going to have like all the upgrades right there. Of course, we're going to see they don't have any actual damage upgrades or armor upgrades, but that's not really super important because the fragmentation shards basically turns their damage into an obliteration for the priests who like to clump up and then just like, oh, look at all these fragmentation shards everywhere, all over my priest, and you know, it's just not good. Of course, here we're going to see a TV coming in right now from Yumiko. HawK going to pick up level 5 on that Mountain King right like that. And of course, we actually see some Knights coming out. Knights do a really good job versus Breakers. So if you can get to Castle Tech and get those Knights out, you can actually start obliterating the Breakers with Knights and Militia. And of course, with these fragmentation shards, you're just seeing them dominate the priest right there in the back. And the Paladin's back out as well. Of course, we're going to see a Thunderclap coming back here. He's trying to get this Mortar team killed. However, we're going to see a nice Paladin holy lighting the Mortar team. And that's going to do a really good job keeping that Mortar team alive. Of course, we're going to see it even getting staffed out. And now HawK's going to maybe lose his Mountain King, going to be forcing him to pop a Potion of Western Invulnerability just as he hits down to about 170 life right there. Yumiko dominating this fight. As you can see, kind of splitting off HawK's army into two little sections that can't really deal with themselves by themselves. So we're going to see the Mountain King going down as well. Yumiko now really sitting pretty. He's actually going to be able to take down the HawK's Archmage as well. And HawK's Archmage had a Potion of Invulnerability on it, but it got killed during the stun. So there you go. Really well done by Yumiko, getting to the tech, getting to tier 3. As you can see, a huge advantage. Yeah, you know, so huge advantage to get to tier 3. Of course, it's very difficult to get to tier 3 because when you do tech to tier 3, you know, you're trading in, you know, a couple berserkers or a couple spellbreakers, a couple priests, or, you know, a tech or something like that on your units themselves. And then even when you hit tier 3, you still have to build a workshop, and you have to research your fragmentation shards, and you got to make a mortar team, or you have to make knights, etc. So it's difficult to get there, but if you can get there, you can get, of course, you get the staffs, you get all kinds of goodies. So it's well worth it if you can make it there, but it can be very difficult to get there. Of course, we're going to see that Yumiko was able to get there, and Yumiko dominated because of it. Now, this was game 3. If you'd like to check out game 2, click right about here. And if you'd like to check out game 4, click right about here. And if you don't see the annotations, I've been pretty good about them recently. So you might have your annotations down below here, somewhere like right below where my mouse is, somewhere like that. There's a little button sometimes that gets turned off that says show annotations. You can click that, and they should be there because they should be there pretty much as soon as they go off. I'm gonna have them up super fast. That was game 3. If you'd like to check out game 4, like I said, click right there, and I hope to see you there, and hopefully we will. So I'll see you there, right? I had better. Oh yeah.